Hello YouTubers, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create this lovely looking logo. And I'm going to take you through the steps, and basically this was a request. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Got a new document ready here. And just going to go ahead and make a new layer. There we go. So we've got a new layer, and we're going to go ahead and use I'm going to select this tool down here. It's from the rectangle tool, and if you select the rectangle tool, you've also got the tools available up here. What you're going to select is the rounded rectangle tool. When you do that, you should have option for radius. Set yours for 20 pixels, and then you're going to go ahead and just draw a nice big square in the center. Okay. Actually, just forgot, I've got my path selected. Make sure that you have your shape layers selected, and actually while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and set the color as well. So we're going to go ahead and set a nice green. If we can find one, be alright. Can find one, be fine. Okay, so we've got our green, and we're going to go ahead and just plant the green in the center here, like so. We're going to right click and change it to a raster file. Raster layer, excuse me, and we're going to press and hold Control and click the thumbnail for shape 1. And we're going to select a different colour, a darker colour of the same colour palette. We're going to use our gradient tool, and we're going to make sure we've got our foreground to transparent selected, and that's going to use our primary colour. And we're going to have our line gradient tool selected, and we're just going to drag it that way. We've got bottom half selected. You might want it quite dark, so also try to make it on a new layer, like so. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and select the original colour and make it slightly lighter, and probably tweak it so that way it goes a little bit lighter to yellow. And make a new layer, and then just paste that on the top half, like so, until you're quite happy with it. Okay, so once we've got that done, we're going to actually select the shape layer again. So if you've already got the Mark U tool selected, wicked. If not, press and hold Control, select the shape 1 thumbnail, create a new layer, select your gradient tool and select a dark primary colour. Drag halfway down, then grab your selection tool and just delete crop or half of it at the top, like so. And then if you change your normal blending down to soft light, that should work quite nicely. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and type in some text. Make sure that your primary colour is white, and just drag a little type box in and type in whatever you like. I'm just going to use PSD because that's the file type we create Photoshop files in. Just going to plant that right there, maybe a little bit bigger. And I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can, but try to be quite instructional at the same time, because my last video for this exact same file was rendering out about 17 minutes, so I'd like to try and cut this down. I'll change this to pixels, and there we go, just make it slightly smaller. Oh, pixels. Going to make this text slightly lighter than the text that is sitting on at the moment, so it stands out a little bit. But then again, at the same time, I want it to not fade in, like so. That'll do quite nicely. And I'd like to make the PSD have a reflection of the one, so I'm going to go ahead and select PSD, press J to duplicate, and then I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. Press V to make sure you've got your Move tool selected, press and hold Shift, and then you can just drag anywhere on the screen to move the PSD bit down. And we're going to go ahead and, with PSD copy selected, we're going to go ahead and click this button here for mask, and use our selection tool, crop around the text, press delete, grab our gradient tool, and just add a little bit down, just drag down so that way a little bit is showing. Simples, excellent, wicked, done. Use the arrow keys to move it down to make sure it's in the position you'd like it to be. I usually drag the copy version underneath the original on the layer, so whatever's at the top will be on in front of everything else. We're going to do the same for pixels. So we're going to go ahead and press Ctrl J if you like, or right click and go down to duplicate layer. Okay. With that done, I'm going to go ahead and move it down preemptively underneath pixels, and then I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical, hold Shift, move just below the original, have our selection tool ready, press Quick Mask or Mask, Selection, Delete, Gradient tool, drop down, like so. Excellent, excellent, like it. Now with that done, I'm going to want to have a nice glow on top as well, so I'm going to go and hold Control, click Shape 1 thumbnail, go to Pixels, the top layer, and make a new layer that's on top of everything else. Grab our Gradient tool, make sure our primary colour is white. From the top left hand corner, drag down to the bottom right hand corner in that direction and release. And then go to Select, Modify, Contract by 5 pixels. Depending on the size you are working in, you may want to increase your the size of the pixels. 5 is fine for me. Click OK. Then press Ctrl, Shift and I to invert and press Delete. Once that is done, you're going to need to select the elliptical marquee tool by holding down on the rectangle marquee tool and selecting the circle one. Deselect everything by clicking out in space, and then click and drag until you have a pattern that kind of matches mine. So I'm going to go ahead about there, press delete, and then you should have that left. I'm going to go ahead and change the blending to a let me just have a quick look through these, see what I like the look of. I think it could possibly be, yep, it's overlay. Overlay has won it for me, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that on overlay. Looks pretty good. I'm going to want this PSD text to stand out a little bit, so I'm going to grab the original and I'm going to right click, blending options, drop shadow, click drop shadow for more options, turn off use global lighting, change the angle to 180 degrees, put the multiply up, the size down to 0, and actually no, we're going to put the opacity down to 5% like so. Click OK. And now what we want to do, we want to group pretty much all of it down to one layer. So select the second layer, not the background layer. So shape 1 to the top gloss layer, which will be layer 4. Press Ctrl and E and that will collapse all of them together. And now what we want to do is start picking away at the corner. So we're going to go ahead, select our rectangular marquee tool again, and we're going to go ahead and click a corner. Select our move tool while that is selected, press and hold shift, and then just using our directional arrow keys we can just move it down and about. Okay, and then just go ahead and start cutting a few pieces out here and there. You may want to delete a few pieces here and there. This is going to be totally up to you how you do this. There is no right or wrong way, so that's up to you how you do it. Okay, so once you're happy with what you've got, actually I'm not going to do that, I'm just going to delete that like so. You could tweak about it for ages, however you want to do it, that's fine. It's not perfect, but it'll do. So once that's done, press Ctrl and T to select the transform of the whole object, the single layer, right click, go to distort, and now all you have to do is just move in some of the corners and the points to make a nice kind of distorted perspective. Okay, once you're done, press enter, and then you should have something like that. Now, some edges might be a little bit too sharp for you, so if you're worried about that, which you can see down here, as you can see, it's still got the outside. Click the thumbnail with Control held, and go to Select, Modify, Contract by 1. Click OK. Press Control Shift I. And then delete, and then that will basically get rid of anything else. So there you go, that's how we've made that logo. To make it stand out a little bit, I've made a new layer, and then I've used a grey, selected our gradient tool, a circle, and then might want to make that a little bit lighter. Everything is about tweaking until you're happy with it. Like so. Again, I'm never going to be happy with that, but that'll do. So as you can see, that's kind of how we've created that logo. There's many ways that you can do it. That's just the quick way that I've done. Managed to do it just in over a little bit of 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something and I didn't confuse you too much. I really wish I had an uplifted band so that way I could do more than 15 minutes, so I wouldn't have to rush everything. But that's how I pretty much came up with that logo and put it all together. So thanks for watching, guys. Please stay tuned for the next tutorial and have a nice one. And my phone is ringing. Good timing. Bye, guys.